Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. My name is, of course, Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today, our Marvel Legends reviews continue with this Marvel Studios The First 10 Years Anniversary line of figures, with probably my most anticipated set of the wave. Maybe it is, of course, Pepper Potts, Ironman Mark 22, aka the Hot Rod Armor, and of course, it says the Mandarin, but we all know it's Mr. Trevor Slattery. Very happy to have these figures. I know they teased the Mandarin for a long time at Comic-Con way back in the day. First time we're seeing a Gwyneth Paltrow Pepper Potts. Curious of the outfit choice. I would have preferred a suited Pepper Potts so I could have her on my Hall of Armor display. But I'm fine with the naked Pepper Potts. I guess that we know what's going through the designer's head there at the Hasbro office. The Hot Rod Armor is just another heart armor that we can add to our forever growing MCU Hall of Armors. And yes, the Mandarin. Yes, there's a lot of controversy around the way Shane Black dealt with Iron Man 3, but nevertheless, I like the character design. And this is, I believe, Ben Kingsley. So anyway, enough about my knowledge. This is obviously from Iron Man 3, and this is number 4 in the line. You can see the number 4 there. There's a little write-up about Iron Man 3, the film, but my table's too small, you can't see it. On the back, there is, of course, a little bio about Pepper Potts, Iron Man Mark 22, and, of course, Mandarin. And there is a piece for that builder collage as well on the side, so maybe now I can get all the boxes, even though I think I still need one. I need the Ultron or I need the Hulk Buster 2-pack. So I'm probably just going to pick up the Ultron. But I have nowhere to display the collage anyway. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get these figures open, shall we? So here we have everything from the box on the table, including a couple of accessories there. And I must admit, this box set doesn't disappoint me personally because it's 3 new figures, including new characters. We've very much needed a Pepper Potts in our MCU collection for a while. She's been in it since 2008 in the very first Iron Man. So Pepper Potts is a welcome addition to our MCU collection. I guess it is an interesting outfit choice as this isn't something she'd be seen in on a random day. She's even got bare feet, but it is from an infamous scene from the Iron Man 3 film, and that's what these box sets are all about. Same with Trevor Slattery. Of course, he is the fake Mandarin, but as I said, I do really like this character design, and the film did take a little interesting turn that many people ain't happy about. But if you do know about Marvel and everything canon, then there is a Marvel one-shot called All Hail the King, which is basically like a 10-minute little side story about Trevor in prison and he's being interviewed, and the real Mandarin actually gets him a message saying he's not happy about Trevor's portrayal of the Mandarin. So it is canon. There is a real Mandarin out there in the MCU. We're just yet to see him. But nevertheless, this is Trevor Slattery pretending, imposing as the infamous Mandarin of the 10 Rings. And of course, a brand new Iron Man to add to our MCU Hall of Armor. Yes, it's just a repaint of a War Machine, but let's be honest, I wasn't going to paint those flames on, even if I would like to customize some figures, which I don't. And it is a figure that will pop and stand out on my Hall of Armor. So I might even show that off at the end of the video. But yes, 3 new figures that I do not have in my collection, which I'm very happy about. I'm going to do some head swaps for Pepper Potts as well. And I should mention, she does come with some accessories. She's the only one that comes with accessories. You get no interchangeable hands or anything for Iron Man, unfortunately. But she comes with that arm where at the end of Iron Man 3, she puts on Tony's arm to blast Killian with. So that's what we've got there. And we've got a blaster effect, which we've seen before. So I'll do some swapping and show you what that's all about. And look at these one by one. And we shall start off with Pepper Potts herself. So let's start off with a close-up of that Gwyneth Paltrow head sculpt, aka Pepper Potts. And I do actually see the actress Gwyneth Paltrow in there from certain angles. A few people have been complaining about how red her cheeks are, but from this scene in Iron Man, she does have the extremis sort of chemical flowing through her veins at this point. So I'm sure you can excuse her for being a little bit hot. So I don't actually mind the red cheeks, but I know what people mean. But I do very much see Gwyneth Paltrow in this head sculpt from certain angles. So I think they have done a great job. There's even some details there in the different colours of the hair, but it is very nice. So taking a look at the rest of the figure, she isn't wearing very much at all. She's just got her black leggings on and then like a black top, but it is from a scene in the film. She's got bare feet. She's not even wearing any shoes. So anyone out there with a foot fetish, this is for you. There you go, enjoy. Hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, Pepper Potts has no shoes. She comes with 2 fisted hands as well, and both of these arms are just single jointed as you would expect from Marvel Legends. She's got a bit of a waist diaphragm joint, so she can do some Mr. Motivation moves. And if you're not British and nearly 30 years old, you'll have no idea who Mr. Motivator is. But this hand, this is a whole interchangeable arm, which is as simple as just popping off this arm, I assume. So it comes attached with the arm in the box. I don't want to break it. Okay, so it took a little bit of force, but that's fine. I prefer my joints tight. So yeah, that arm comes out there. And then you can put this arm, which has actually got part of the Iron Man armour on. And it does click. And there you go. There you have her from that infamous scene. So as Dwight likes to point out every time people ask about female Marvel Legends and their double jointed elbows, this Pepper Potts arm does have a double joint. But I think Dwight's cheating a little bit and he knows it, because let's be honest, it's an Iron Man arm. It's not a female arm. And when people ask for female figures with double jointed elbows, they're not on about Iron Man arms. They're on about these female arms. But anyway, Dwight's cheating, but he's right. There is double jointed. There is a double joint there on the one hand. Annoyingly though, there's no joint on the actual wrist, so you can't actually bend it or even turn it. You're going to have to turn the arm on the actual, just under the shoulder there, to get it posed in any type of way with this effect, because there is a little peg there, little hole there for the peg of the blaster. So yeah, you're going to have to be creative, because you can't even, there's no joint there to bend the wrist back. So yeah, weird. That's not going to pose very well. We don't even have a Killian for her to blast at. So I doubt very much my Pepper Pot's going to be wearing this Iron Man arm on my collection personally. I'd rather do some head swaps and get this Pepper Pot head on a more suited body. So maybe I can pull out a few female figures and we can try that. But just as a closer look at this arm, I do like the detail there of the mechanical bit sticking out of the broken Iron Man armour, because she does pick it up once it's fell off Tony, of course. But yeah, that's about it in regards to detail on the figure. So let's do some head swaps, shall we? So here we have Pepper Potts compared to some more Marvel Legend females. 2 people from the MCU here. Well, Netflix MCU. We got Jessica Jones and of course Claire Temple. Just Jessica Jones is from the Man-Thing Build-A-Figure wave. Claire Temple from that Luke Cage 2-pack. And then over here on the far left, we have Sharon Carter, which I believe, don't quote me, was from the 2015 Red Onslaught Build-A-Figure wave. But as you can see, this comic version of a figure is a little bit shorter than these MCU girls. And I believe this was on this body was used on the Maria Hill body, but just white. And the only reason I pulled this off the shelf is because it is a white outfit, and I know Pepper Potts has wore white outfits in the MCU, so I was curious to do some head swaps. So let's just do some head swaps to see how it all looks. So let's take Jessica Jones' head off and put on Claire and put on let's see if these, I haven't even checked if these fit yet, so I'm doing all this live. So okay, you heard it pop. So the head does in fact pop on the Jessica Jones body, but Jessica Jones' skin tone is so white and Pepper Potts is a bit tanned, it doesn't match. But maybe you could get it to match. It's only a little bit of skin tone you'd have to clean up or maybe paint a little bit darker. But it pops on, very sturdy, but it's not really a Pepper Potts look, is it? Let's be honest. So let's take that off. And if anyone wants to see Jessica Jones with no clothes on, I know Luke Cage would or has. There's Jessica Jones. So even though the skin tones don't match, if you want to suddenly make any of your female legends have no clothes, then that's how you do it. Let's try this Claire Temple head. I know the skin tones won't match with this one, but they might. So the head doesn't pop on here perfectly, to be fair. The ball joint sitting a little bit too high, so she definitely has high neck syndrome. But you could Dremel that down if you prefer this style outfit for Pepper Potts. But again, it's not perfect, is it? Maybe it does pop in. I'm just being a bit soft with it. Oh, it does click, but it's still... So it does click, but it's probably... Let me move the bag out of the way. Still a little high. And the skin tone isn't too bad, as Claire Temple's skin tone was a little bit darker. So it matches up better than Jessica Jones did. So maybe that's an option if you wanted to. And lastly, let's take that back off and try it with this all-white Sharon Carter S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform. Never know. Pepper Potts may join S.H.I.E.L.D. in Avengers 4. And it does sit on there, but the hair sculpt sort of gets in the way a little bit. But there you go. You could get Pepper Potts joining the S.H.I.E.L.D. ranks if you wanted to. As this head does pop on all of those figures that I've just showed. So you have some options there. To be fair, people, I don't think she looks too bad at all as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Even as a temporary outfit, just to cap your Pepper Potts with some clothes on, that isn't a bad shout at all. What do you think? You let me know in the comments below. Anyway, let's get her back with no clothes on and compare her to the love of her life, Tony Stark. So here we have Pepper Potts next to Mr. Iron Man himself, Tony Stark. We have the SH Figure Arts Tony Stark, which does take pride and place on my sort of Hall of Armour display, as it is a very, very accurate version of Iron Man, or Tony Stark, from Iron Man 3 actually this outfit is. So these two figures should go together quite well. But the height difference for SH Figure Arts is never to MCU scale. So unfortunately, it's a little bit too short to work with other figures. But still, a very nice Iron Man figure. And he's holding that empty helmet that come with the 2-pack from the Homecoming Mark 47 and Tom Holland, I believe. So move him out the way and bring these two a little bit closer. He fell over. And this is the Tony Stark from the Anniversary Wave 2-pack that come with Mark 1. And these two do scale a lot better. Is Gwyneth Paltrow taller than Robert Downey Jr.? She probably is, even though these two are maybe the same height, because his hair does go up a little bit. So maybe I should pull my camera up and we shall see a closer look. So let me just bring my camera up so you can make your own mind up. How do you think these two scale? I don't think they scale that bad together. I hope one focuses. So yeah, I don't think those two scale that bad together. The Gwyneth Paltrow head is a much better head sculpt than their Robert Downey Jr. head, to be fair to them. I wish Hasbro did do a really, really good Robert Downey Jr. head. It's the only thing they're missing. So I'm hoping by the time Avengers 4 comes out, we can get a very accurate Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt. But just for one more comparison, because he was close to me on the shelf, let's bring in Tom Holland, who is a little bit shorter than Gwyneth Paltrow, as seen at the end of Homecoming. And yeah, he looks a bit fat-headed, but they do scale well, and not too bad at all. Moving on to Mark 22, aka the Hot Rod Armor. I spent far too long talking about a naked Gwyneth Paltrow, so let's whiz through this one. So as you can see, this is definitely not a new mold. This is a figure that we've had before. It's just got a repaint to sort of resemble an Easter egg, if you will, from Iron Man 3, as it wasn't like a predominant outfit or armor design from the film. It was more in the background when he did the House Party Protocol. But I'm sure if you pause the DVD or Blu-ray enough, you'll be able to see it in the background, or even just Google MCU Hot Rod Armor, MCU Mark 22, and I'm sure you'll see some better pictures. But it is very, very nice. So if I zoom in, this is why it's called the Hot Rod Armor, because the feet have got those hot flames. But the rest of the figure is just a grey and black, sort of similar to War Machine, and then he's just got the red arms as well. But it's nicely painted, not going to lie. As I said, I'm not really a fan of customizing figures. Otherwise, I would have done that a long time ago to build some more armors. So I'm not very happy, but I'm not complaining that Hasbro are just every now and then just throwing out another Iron Man figure with a different design that we don't have. As I said, for people like me building their own figure Hall of Armor, it's nothing to complain about. Now, just to show you what I mean about using the same mold, it is the same mold as this War Machine from, I believe, the Age of Ultron film, but I think it come with a Hulkbuster piece, the original Hulkbuster Build-A-Figure from, again, maybe 2015. Their articulation on their ankles are terrible, so getting them to stand, it's a right pain, but you know what I mean. So there's those two, but it has been used again, as we see in, again, don't quote me, but I'm saying Mark 33 is the Disco Armor, which this come in a 2-pack with the War Machine from Civil War. But again, it's the same figure. And then we see from, I believe, 2013, it was just an Iron Man 3 movie wave in the old Hasbro packaging. We have the Iron Patriot. So all of these are on the same mold, just different repaints, and they all look very different. So again, you can't complain at Hasbro for giving it a try. And again, these will all find their place in my Hall of Armor, so I'm not complaining about it too much at all. So if I take them out of the way and just throw in some other designs and other sculpts, so you can see how they size up. There is the Mark 7 from this same line of anniversary figures from, of course, the first Avengers film, and it is taller than this Hot Rod armor, and the Hot Rod armor doesn't want to stand now. Stand. And then here is Mark 50 from Infinity War, the one that glows up. There you go. Don't know if you can see it glowing, but this one again is probably a tiny bit taller than the Hot Rod armor, but still very nice to have it in the collection. Moving on. And last but by no means least, here we have Trevor Slattery, aka the Mandarin Imposter. And I do very much like this figure. It seems to be brand new mold all the way around. It was teased a long time ago at San Diego Comic-Con and probably just sat on the shelf for a while, but Hasbro have now found a place for it in this anniversary line. And long may it continue. I hope we get a second line of figures for next year as well, with some more figures from the MCU that we haven't got. But this one is the reason many people bought this 3-pack 4. And it looks very nice. Very much, regardless what you think of the Iron Man 3 film, it is a nice figure and he does look very villainous for your MCU shelf. Just got the camo trousers there, and this jacket can come off, just made of a soft plastic. So if I take that off real quick, I'm assuming it's easy, and just show you. So the sleeves are long. He's got like wizard sleeves. So the sleeves get a little bit thicker towards the end. But that is your Mandarin without his jacket. So obviously he's got the jacket arms on, so that doesn't make much sense. But he's got the camo trousers. Let me just show you the rings on his hand as well, which I really like. And he sort of be trigger fingers as well, so I guess you can get him holding a gun. And again, he's got some bling bling on the other hand there as well. And as you can see, he's got like the wizard sleeves. So what's he hiding up there? Maybe a few tricks. And then here is the Trevor Slattery head sculpt. Again, I do think they've done a great job. I definitely can see Ben Kingsley in there a little bit. I like the long beard. He's got his little man bun. But yes, looks very, very nice. Hasbro, keep doing what you're doing. These head sculpts look great. And yeah, the articulation's there. He can't look down much because of his beard, but he can definitely look up side to side. All the articulation's there. They've done a very good job with this head sculpt. So let me put his jacket back on. Again, I should mention the jacket has some nice detail. I don't know how well you can see it. There is some like sculpted, embossed detail. And then he's got some clasps or whatever you call it down the side there, some gold. And he's got the hood piece there. The hood doesn't obviously go up, but still. And there's nothing in the middle there. But hopefully this goes back on nice and easy, so I don't have to pause the video and act like I did it super quick. We can do it all together. There you go, get your arm in there, mate. Come on, sort it out, sort it out. It's those bloody wizard sleeves. There you go, he's back on, he's back on. Cool. So that is how he looks. Looking very, very nice. Very happy with this figure. As I said, will definitely find a place in my villain shelf regardless. Maybe the actual Mandarin looks exactly like this. We shall never know. Just going to pull my camera off and again just show you some of these details if it will focus for me. So yeah, very nice. I assume that middle piece is separate. Yep, it is. So that can slide down a little bit so it doesn't look like he's got such a high waist. But yeah, he's got some boots on. Again, I've said camo trousers, some rings. Looking very nice. So let's see how he compares to some other MCU villains. I should mention as well, because I know people will ask, the articulation for this figure is decent enough. It's what you would expect from a 6-inch Marvel Legend. The articulation is in all the right places. There is a single jointed elbow though, unfortunately, on both of the hands, so there's no double joint there. I'm assuming again it's because these giant wizard sleeves, but he does have some movement there at the waist, but no diaphragm joint or anything like that, so you can't get him leaning forward unless you're making him look all the way down, but then he looks like that and he looks a bit silly. Again, you're not going to have this guy in some crazy dynamic poses. He's just going to look menacing, evil on the shelf. You'll never see him coming, or whatever he says. That was a terrible impression, by the way, but you know what I'm trying to say. So let's bring in some figures to compare him to. I said MCU, so let's start off with one that doesn't look like an MCU figure, but it is Mordo. Again, this is before Hasbro started doing that face 3D printing, because this looks very cartoony. But the reason I pulled him out is because I thought they'd look like they're wearing similar outfits, or they look like they're part of the same crew. But yeah, this is Mordo from Doctor Strange. Chigidito Ejiofor. I'm so sorry. I know that's not how you pronounce his name, but I know who the actor is. It's just he's got a very awkward name. What did I say? Chigidito. It's definitely not that. Definitely not that. I'm not even cutting that out. I'm leaving that in because it's hilarious. Here is, of course, someone from the anniversary line of figures. It is from number 0, from the Tesseract box set from San Diego Comic-Con. It is, of course, the Red Skull, who is a little bit shorter than Trevor Slattery there. So I think Trevor is the tallest out of all of these. Again, his man bun does give him a little bit of height, but still, there's some villains for you. May as well bring in one last one, aka Tony Stark. Again, a little bit shorter than Trevor there. So Trevor definitely does stand a little bit taller than all these figures. I don't think he was super tall in the film, but let's just pretend he's got some heels on his boots or something. But either way, he'll stand out in your display looking very nice. So there you go, final thoughts. Again, one of my most anticipated sets from this line, and it doesn't disappoint. I knew what I was getting, and I'm very happy with the outcome of the figures. Very happy to get a Pepper Potts, and I do like how it is a very unique figure from the Ironman 3 film, but you can still do some head swaps and tweak it how you want and just get yourself a generic Pepper Potts. I've seen a few people online use that head on different figures from different figure lines, and it works out quite well. But maybe we'll get a different one for Avengers 4, who knows? And again, Trevor Slattery, a lot of controversy with Iron Man 3, the film itself, but again, it does look like the Mandarin from the 10 Rings, and he does look like a villain, let's be honest, so not complaining about him at all. He looks very nice. And the Hot Rod armor, happy days. You let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always people, there is a videos tab up there with over 220 plus videos of me talking about Marvel Legends, so if you do enjoy my reviews, go and check some more out. Be much appreciated, and as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button, much appreciated, and I will continue reviewing figures, and I shall see you on the next one.